But to say that Rodrick is qualified for this honor is just a gross misunderstatement. Rodrick is the best bowler in our association. We have 5 houses in our association. Rodrick has excelled at 4 houses for years. And at the other house, he just wins tournaments. With Rodrick, you don't count 700s. He averages 700. 236 here, 234 over there. Here are some of Rodrick's jaw-dropping statistics. 41 300 games. 29 800 series. 854 being the highest. 2 300 games in PBA tournaments. 2 PSBA championships. 1 with Scott Grinnell, doubles actual, and 1 with Scott Grinnell, Mike Allman, Josh Dotson, and Jason Easler. Team actual. 3 second place finishes in PSBA tournaments. 10 scratch tournament championships in a 4-county area. And finally, 27. That's right, 27 association championships. 15 team, 5 singles, 5 all events, and 2 doubles. Western and Crawford County's latest inductee for bowling achievement, Rodrick Baird.
Like Harry says, you know you're getting old when you get to the Hall of Fame. I hope I can make it through this. You did pretty good there, Brian. I'd like to thank the Western Crawford County Association for recognizing me for this honor. Thank you to all my family and friends for being here to share this special night with me. It's an honor to join several members of my family who have also been inducted to the Hall of Fame, including my grandparents, Forney and Arlene Mitchell, who some of you may remember owned Meadville Lanes on Water Street before burning down in the 60s. I also joined my father, Rodney Baird, my sister, Becky Baird, and my fiancée, Shelley Squeezy. I'm sure that if my brother still lived in the area, he would be in here also. Kurt has the distinction of throwing the only sanctioned 300 game in Center Bowl's 40-plus year history. There was one unsanctioned 300 bowled by Mo Annis, unsanctioned. I would also like to thank Keith Seidel for drilling my bowling balls for the past 25 years. Prior to that, my father fitted and drilled my equipment for me. I could probably bowl 100 games on this thumb, and it would never rip open. So if you have bad thumbs or something like that, you better get your pitches fixed. Prior to that, excuse me. Now sometimes I have Josh Dotson drill my balls for me, and I felt like I was betraying Keith. But Keith's response was, you gotta keep it in the family. Over the years, I've had memorable experiences, one which was bowling in the PBA regionals. I bowled in regionals held in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and Canada. Every Friday morning after I finished third shift, I'd go home, pack up, and hop in the back seat of the car where I'd sleep while Dad drove. I managed to cash here and there, and my best finish was 4th place. And that was the Resident Pro, which is a major of the regional. There was one regional where I bowled with Marshall Holman. We took Val Panino along with us. He's a 1985 Hall of Famer. He's quite a guy. He was quite a guy. So, on the day of bowling, on the day of qualifying, we just started practicing. Val stands up, starts taking flash pictures at Holman. Holman repeatedly told Val, "Sir, please stop taking pictures of me." He said this about 4 times. I'm just standing there, oh my goodness. Eventually, Dad pulls him down out into his seat before they get kicked out. Now I have a picture of Holman frozen in time, just standing there like this. Then there was the 2009 Pennsylvania State Tournament in Allentown. I led all events with 258 average for 9 games, shooting 300 and 800, for which I received a gold bowling pin from the bowling center. I thought that was pretty cool. Then some guy named Lou Baloney came along on the last weekend of the tournament and averaged 261 for 9 games, beating me by 27 pins. Dad and I were devastated. But then 2 weeks later, I got a letter in the mail from the PSBA offering me an all expenses paid entry to the 2010 Masters in Reno. On my first day at the Masters, I went to check play assignments after practice. A big smile came across my face, because I was paired with Carmen Salvino, holder of 17 PBA Tour titles. At that time, he was 77 years old. Salvino was one of the original PBA members when the organization was founded in 1958. I approached him on qualifying day and told him what an honor it was to bowl with him. And I had recently watched him on ESPN Classic Bowling from 1979, where he had won the tournament. He jokingly replied, "Yeah, they just can't get rid of me."
And that's why you number your pages.
That same, also at the Masters, I remember another incident when I had gone to the paddock area for the meeting and took a seat. It was just an empty seat. You know, I'll sit right here, what the heck. A fella came in and sat down beside me, and I happened to hear his conversation. One of the guys mentioned he had won all events in New York. He says, "Oh yeah?" The other said that he had won all events in Pennsylvania, and that there was some other guy here from Pennsylvania. I tapped him on the shoulder. "Hey buddy, that's me." Can you believe it? Out of 268 entries in the Masters, the guy that beat me out of all events on the last weekend of states sits down right next to me. However, I got my revenge in the end, as I eventually beat Lou Baloney, placing 178th to his 240th. I bowled pretty decent too. I just ran some bad luck. I had a lot of good times and shared great memories with my many teammates and doubles, partners over the years. Some highlights are winning, as Mike told you, Pennsylvania doubles with my buddy, Scott Purnell. Winning second place doubles with Josh, and again with Mike Allman. Now with Mike Allman, if you look at the list, the money list, they gave us money in the handicap, because it was more money. But if you look at our score and compare it to what the doubles is, we beat those guys in second. I just want to make sure of that. And of course, also winning the Pennsylvania scratch team. That's pretty awesome there. I think Mike said we were like a handful of teams that had 3,500. Unbelievable. I bowled with 2 teams that, well, we switched with a team from Erie, and we had 3,500 also. But luckily, we won. It's nice to have a me-built team in there. And this year, with the four-man team, shooting 3007 with Troy Johnson, Mike Alton, and Rob Benge. And I believe that's a Crawford County record also. It's not written down or anything, but I believe it is. And also shooting 3621 county record with Mike McHenry, Warren Allsworth, Mike Crott, and longtime teammate Rodney Castillo. Attaboy, Rodney. I really enjoy bowling with my best bud, Scott Grinnell. He's always trying to beat me. I guess you could say we were each other's driving force. One time I asked him, how many 800 do you have now, Scott? He tells me. He asked me, how many do you have? And when I told him, which of course I had more, he just looked at me with disgust. Bowling for me is about the sport, the competition, and the friendships. And bowling is about family also. For many years, Becky, Kurt, Laura, and I, we've traveled together in the annual transportation tournament with our Grandma Mitchell. Grandma made patches that we pinned to our shirts with the team name Grandma's Kids. And in 1990, we took first place in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, baby. Through bowling, I've been able to travel all over the country with family and friends, and I've seen many historic sights and great scenery along the way. Most of all, I treasure all the times I've had at bowling and traveling with my coach. And my dad, Rodrick, Baird. He has always been there for me, and I thank you, Papa. Thank you.
Rodrick, your class is recognition of your inductor, November 14th, 2015. Coy?
Rodrick, on behalf of Pennsylvania State Bowling Association, I have a certificate for you also. Thank you.
Rodrick, I gotta say, you shocked me. You've always been a man of very few words. Nice job.